I want to thank everyone for being with us here tonight. My name is Ken Kimball, and I have the pleasure of working in the advancement office with Brother Chris. I'm an alum from the class of 1992. Everybody in this room has their own Brother Chris story, and whether that was from the first time that they met him or the first time that they had an interaction with him. Come on up. This is for you right here. Come. Thank you. For my family, it was moving to Memphis in the late 80s. We came to Christian Brothers, and one of the things that we were told was that we could start a lacrosse program here. And of all of his accolades that he'll hear about tonight, the one that is the most important to Brother Chris is that he was the first moderator of the Christian Brothers High School lacrosse team. So, brother, congratulations. And my mom and sister are right here when you came in, so awesome. Okay, at this time, we'd like to call up Monsignor MacArthur to give us an invocation, and we'll move on with our very brief program. Thank you.
Let us remember we are in the holy presence of God, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord God, we gather in gratitude, first for this high school, for the Christian brothers who have been in Memphis for 148 some years, especially for the many people that they've touched and affected in such a positive and beautiful way in their faith, their academic, and their whole environment growing, their whole being. Over 20% of that time, this school has been led by Brother Chris Englert. He's a man who has brought great wit, great humor, great leadership, great wisdom, great friendship to everyone. We give thanks for his years of service. We know that today we celebrated the special miracle of Jesus changing the water into wine, to rich, more powerful fruits of his love for all of us. And Brother Chris has done that. He's brought joy and new life to this school, and he's helped us all to grow and to celebrate the goodness of your love as Jesus manifested his divinity. Brother Chris, with all the Christian brothers, has believed in living always in the holy presence of God, and he has done that in every way and with every person. We look at this campus, we think of all the thousands of students, the parents, the teachers, and all the Christian brothers, all have experienced the fruit of his love and care and joy. We give thanks for him as he so often prays from Micah, may I humbly walk with God, and he has lived in the presence of God all of his life, and when we're around him, we know that we too experience that holy presence of God. We thank you for his life and pray for his future endeavors to know always this is his home, that his love is always known here by everyone in town. St. John Baptist de La Salle, live Jesus in our hearts. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's $5.
When we first found out in our office that there was a chance that Brother Chris was might be leaving us, and we started putting our minds around what we wanted to do for an event to celebrate him, and he was not an easy honoree to work with. Believe it or not. And we've traveled all over the country, and everything has been easy peasy all the way until we got to this event, which is something that he did not want to do. And being the humble person that he is, and he thought that he would get a chance to see everybody, which he probably has, on their own, during his time of transition. But when we pulled this idea together, we couldn't formally announce where it was that Brother Chris was going and what he was going to be doing for the brothers. And so I thought it would be helpful if we started the night off. I'd like to introduce Brother Larry Schatz, who's our brother visitor. He is the brother over all of the Christian Brothers schools in the Midwest District. And I know that the brothers wanted to extend their greeting and salutation, and he might be able to share with you a little bit about Brothers' next chapter. So, Brother Larry.
Good evening, everybody. So on behalf of the Midwest District, I first of all want to thank all of you for being present today for this celebration of Brother Chris's amazing tenure here at CBHS. I doubt that Brother Chris, when he arrived on campus in 1989, envisioned that it would be 30 years before he would begin his next ministry as a brother. As most of you know, on July 1st, after a well-deserved sabbatical, Brother Chris will begin a 4-year term as auxiliary visitor or assistant provincial of the Midwest District. What many of you may not know is that besides leading CBHS all these years, Chris has generously agreed many times to serve on a variety of boards and councils, especially the District Council and the Lasallian Mission Council of our province, as well as the Lasallian Education Council of the North American region. After so many years of serving the students of Christian Brothers High School, now as auxiliary visitor, he will be serving his fellow brothers and Lasallians from Browning, Montana to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and from Minneapolis to Memphis. Nancy Lanigan put it so well in the current issue of Purple and Gold. Brother Chris is gifted with a sharp intellect, a huge heart, a quick wit, and a deep passion for the Lasallian mission. Chris, my brother, thank you for all you have done for the thousands of students you have accompanied here at CBHS, for all you have done to enhance the campus and reputation of CBHS here in Memphis, and for your willingness now to serve the Midwest District. As Art Quinn said again in Purple and Gold, you now take your place among the CBHS legends. Many blessings, Chris. Thank you for everything, and I know Jesus will live in your heart forever.
Brother Chris has always gone out of his way to try to help the alumni, whether we were students of his or someone that he's met over the years. And he's always had a particular affinity for the brothers boys that have gone into public service. And we thought it would be fitting that our current brothers boy, mayor of the city, father of a current student would be a very good person to have the microphone. So please enjoy me welcoming Mayor Strickland.
Good evening. Christian Brothers High School and the city of Memphis are now better because of Brother Chris. I say that as an alumnus, as a father, and as mayor of Memphis. As an alum, I know that Brother Chris improved an already good image and the prestige of this school, which reflects positively on all the alums. As a parent, I know the improvements made here under his leadership to the facilities, to the academic programs, and to the spirit of brotherhood among the students has given my son, a current junior, an even better experience than I had here when I graduated in 1982. And as mayor, graduates of this high school have contributed greatly to our city for almost 150 years. Brother Chris's leadership and vision have boosted this school's influence even more, the full results of which will play out over the decades to come. Mother Teresa said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." Thank you, Brother Chris, for casting so many ripples in this city that we all love. As a result, I've done two things. First, January 20, 2019 is now Brother Chris Englert Day in the city of Memphis. And I'm also very honored to give him a key to the city so that he knows he can come back anytime he wants.
Thank you very much. This is really an honor.
Okay, so the next one is very special, and we've worked very hard to keep this a secret from you for a long time. And I don't know if we've been successful at that or not, but at this time, I'd like to call up Will Zacola, the president of the Christian Brothers Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I'm Will Zacola, current president of the CBHS Hall of Fame. The purpose of the CBHS Hall of Fame is to foster greater understanding of the Christian brothers at CBHS and to lend assistance to the brothers to awaken a greater interest in cooperation, tending to aid, improve, or develop the aims established at CBHS. I didn't write that, that's in our bylaws. The general requirements of a nominee for induction into the CBHS Hall of Fame are generally a graduate, though not mandatory, commands respect and attention within his chosen field of endeavor, devoted to the aims of CBHS, willingness to contribute to the betterment of CBHS in terms of monetary and time usages, and high moral standards to the credit of CBHS. To state that Brother Chris meets these requirements is to state the obvious. To tell you how Brother Chris meets these requirements, I turn the microphone over to a fellow Hall of Famer, Brother Joel. Thank you.
This evening, we convoke an extraordinary session of induction ceremony of the Christian Brothers High School Hall of Fame to bring on board a member of the 2018-19 class of Hall of Famers, a member who will not be with us next Sunday with his Hall of Fame classmates. This new member has declined induction for many years. And now that his successor, Brother David, is in charge, his declination can be overruled. We know who this reluctant Hall of Fame inductee is. We love him, we respect him, and we want him this evening to make permanent the memory of this Christian brother who has headed up our school for the past 30 years, outnumbering those years even Brother Marillion, our founder, and our beloved Brother Adrian, two pillars of CBHS. Brother's footprint and his soul print are on the physical plant, the personal plant, and the spiritual plant of CBHS. And this footprint is profound and good. Welcome, Hall of Fame member, Brother Chris. This school that you have nurtured and loved, and the school that loves and reveres you.
Thank you very much. This is truly an honor. I got a call from Gary, said we're having this on January 20th, be there, and that was it. And I actually may be at the Hall of Fame just as a part, don't put me on stage, but I know a lot of the guys, but somebody have invited me for dinner later this week, so I can extend my stay in Memphis for a few more days. So thank you all for being here tonight. It is a very special evening, and the nice thing is I know everybody in here, so the right people showed up. It's always embarrassing. And Mayor Strickland, I saw you were out campaigning today. The nice thing about me going to Chicago and you being a Democrat, I'll still be able to vote for you several times as the mayor of Memphis. So we'll be able to figure that out. And you've been a great mayor and certainly would support you. There is one major disappointment, however. Do you remember the gift I gave you when you became mayor? I gave him a Pete Rose bobblehead because we're both Cincinnati roots, and he likes the Cincinnati Reds. And he's been trying to get Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame, but he's not been very successful. But actually, Pete's done that on his own. He's not a good poster child. But I do thank you. I really do admire, that was said, the leadership of our graduates, the people who try to make the city better, the men on the city council, guys associated with the chamber, many of you guys here as architects, restaurant owners, businessmen, and all that, that you have not abandoned Memphis. And you really try to make this a special place. I've lived here longer than any other city, even in Cincinnati, even though those are my roots. But this is a special city, and I'm so glad to see this school being a part of it and our graduates continuing to be a part. I'd also like to thank the board chairs that I've had over the years, Lance Fortick from the very beginning, Bob Orions, Ron Redden, Tom Sullivan, and then Gary Stavrum. They've been my right-hand men for a long time, shown great leadership for myself, for the board, and also for the school, and also the many board members. You give of your time and talent. It's an amazing group of people. I always say our board meetings go only about an hour and 15 minutes, because the committees work so hard and do all their homework. I also like to thank Chris Fay and the administration. Great leadership here, and the teachers. There's some of you guys, teachers here today. It's what you do every single day with these boys. I remember, some of you may remember Jack Stanford, who was the head of Hutchinson for a long time, a wonderful head. And he said when you take that position, you lose, the hardest thing is losing contact with the kids, and that's something I understand was part of it. I tried to see them in the hallways, fist bump them, see them on their birthdays and all that. But that daily contact with these young men every single day in the classroom, that is so important. So I thank all the administrators and staff members who continue to serve this school. Finally, I'd like to thank the brothers. They have always been supportive. I can't even see them. I can see Brother Joel. I said this at the CBU thing that they keep me humble, even though they call me their landlord over here at the community. But they're special people, and we're just part of the long history of brothers that have served this city. And, I'm very privileged. I've had a life that I would never, ever have thought of being in the brothers. And you're right, when I got here, I thought I'd only be here 2 years, but it worked out very differently. And I never thought I'd be going to Chicago as a district administration either, but that's the way it is. God leads you in a direction you never plan on it. And then finally, I just thank all of you. You are such an important part of this school. The brothers are very privileged in this city. This is not a city that has any other religious orders, really. You have the Dominicans downtown and a few others. But we don't compete with the Jesuits, the Franciscans, or any other group in the school. And so we do get special treatment, from our doctors who have saved our lives, from our lawyers who have saved our butts, and so many other people. And very often it's gratis, and that really is, it's something that, especially brothers from the outside, they recognize that. So, I just thank you very much for everything you've done. Thank you for this evening. And I know you have to be out of here at 7:30 because there's a football game on TV. But thank you all very much. It's been very special.
When we were getting ready, typically when you have a leadership transition like this, you give folks an opportunity to recognize the service of the person who's going through a transition. And so again, without him really knowing it, and under the leadership of our board chairman, Gary Stavrum, I'm pleased to announce tonight that a silent campaign was conducted in honor of Brother Chris to provide direct tuition assistance to families in need. And I'm proud to say that as of tonight, and by the hand count, it's raised over $100,000 that'll go directly to the school. And then as we roll into the spring, all the alumni will be able to contribute to the annual fund in honor of Brother Chris, and you'll get to see his lovely face and picture on more printed materials. He loves that. So at this time, to kind of close us out with a toast to be fitting for the person that worked most closely with Brother Chris over the last several years, and that's the chairman of the board here, Gary Stavrum.
Brother Chris, as your friend and chairman of the board, I ask to be able to be the last person to formally recognize your service to the Christian Brothers High School in the Memphis community. Over the past 8 years, we have worked very closely together to help provide the resources that our faculty and staff need to serve thousands of boys and their families. Along the way, I'm proud to say that we've become great friends. Like all the board chairmen before me, many of them here tonight, I've had the pleasure of working with you on almost a daily basis. We have traveled across the country multiple times, sat in countless meetings, and welcomed each other into our own homes. As has been said before, you're the second largest tenured at CBHS since Brother Marillion. The hallmark of your service has been the strength of the relationships you have formed with all of us here in this room and countless others who are unable to join us tonight. In fact, more than half of the living alumni of the school graduated under your leadership as principal or president. As has been said by many times before, CBHS has been recognized as a national leader in Catholic and Lasallian education, in large part because of you. Your commitment to the sustainability of this institution has accounted for over $40 million have been raised for programs, facilities, and our endowment. Your character is best defined by your cheerfulness, sense of humor, and commitment and personal well-being of your faculty and students. You have been a living example of Lasallian values of community, service, faith, quality, education. You refrain from us allowing you to use the word legacy when referring to your time here at CBHS. However, the definition of the word most accurately describes how we all feel about you, your service to Christian Brothers High School, and that is a gift. You have gifted us your very life, your talent, and your prayers. You have given all of us the gift of being part of your life and you of ours. On behalf of nearly 11,000 alumni, tens of thousands of parents, and all of us in Memphis community and beyond, I'd ask that we all raise our glasses in appreciation of the greatest gift you have passed down to all of us, and that is the gift of your fidelity and friendship. God bless you and the Christian Brothers. Cheers, brother. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. That concludes our program for tonight, so I'm going to let these guys go, but we're here till 7:30. The bars are open, so please enjoy yourself. Thank you.